We've got some big news for SpaceX. FAA requiring SpaceX to make changes to Texas launch site ahead of the future launches. Now, the Federal Aviation Administration has determined that SpaceX plans for the massive Starbase launch site in South Texas will have some environmental impact on the surrounding areas and lands, but not enough to require a full environmental impact statement. Now, SpaceX will need to make more than 75 changes to its proposal for the launch base facility if the company wants to avoid additional review and eventually receive a license from FAA to launch its new Starship rockets to orbit from site. SpaceX Starbase facility is located in a small town called Boca Chica. That's in Texas, right on the southern tip of Texas along the Rio Grande River and the US-Mexico border. For the last few years, SpaceX has used the site to construct full-scale prototypes of the Starship, the company's next-generation monster rocket designed to take people and cargo to deep space. Now, SpaceX has already conducted various high-altitude test flights with Starship prototype from Starbase, but now the company hopes to actually launch Starship to space for the first time and send the vehicles to orbit. So in order for SpaceX to go to orbit from Starbase, SpaceX first needs a launch license from the FAA, and the fate of SpaceX's facility in Boca Chica has been hanging in the balance for the last year. The FAA has been conducting environmental reviews of how the company's launch operations would impact the surrounding areas. Now a decision has been made, and SpaceX will need to address the more than 75 actions that the FAA has listed in order to force the company to lessen its environmental impact on the area. Now, if SpaceX makes these changes, it should help pave the way for the company to receive a launch license for Starship, though that is still not a guarantee. Now, SpaceX indicated on Twitter that it sees the decision as good news for moving forward with its launch plan. So this is great. They just have to make some development changes, and they certainly seem to be willing to work with those requirements. Now, SpaceX didn't originally plan to launch its future Moon and Mars rocket from Texas. SpaceX purchased its first piece of land in Boca Chica back in 2012 with the intent to create a purely commercial launch site where the company could launch its smaller Falcon 9 rocket and the Falcon Heavy rockets. Ultimately, SpaceX envisioned launching up to 12 times a year from that area, away from the hustle and bustle of its much busier launch site in Cape Canaveral, Florida. With that goal in mind, the FAA conducted a full environmental review of SpaceX plans, and in 2014, the agency published an environmental impact statement detailing how these smaller launch would affect the area. Now, SpaceX has significantly changed since these reviews were made. Beginning in 2018, the company seriously ramped up production activity in Boca Chica after deciding to devote the South Texas facility solely to the production of Starbase prototype. So that's where we are with our Starship update. And we've got a new image from SpaceX that's been published on Twitter of the Starship. And it looks beautiful. So this vehicle will be going into space. At some time, this vehicle will be going into space. So that's really exciting. So thank you all for watching. Subscribe to see more. Leave a like, leave a comment. And of course, I'll see you in my next video.